Okay, you guys, we are back with another banging video. Kanye West has scored legal victory against Tony Saxton, right? And the media is saying that Tony Saxton has won, but no, Kanye West won this case. And let me explain why Kanye won this case. Because if you remember, Tony Saxton sued Ye for $1.7 million, honey. $1.7 million. He said that Ye had subjected him to unsafe working conditions, wrongful termination, unpaid wages, and a bunch of other things. He was making up a bunch of stories, and as you guys can recall, as I said to you, you can definitely tell that he was lying about a lot of things. Because in his filing, he said Ye wanted him to work 24/7s. But then, in the same length and breath, he said he worked 16 hours a day. He had to sleep on the floor. Ye wanted him to bring in some large generators into the building, and those large generators were a violation. And I said, why is he concerned about violation and not nitrous oxide poison, but carbon monoxide poisoning? He should be concerned about that. So you know that this wouldn't have worked out in his favor, because if I'm the common man who could spot out his lies, then automatically you know that the court would have been able to do the same. And here we are today. The court was able to spot out his lies. However, he was awarded $140,000 for medical expenses and lost wages. This is a big win for Ye. And why I said it's a big win for Ye, because this brute, he's not even getting $250,000. He was suing for $1.7 million. Kanye did this to me. Kanye did that to me. Kanye did yada yada. And if you guys remember, I said, Ye has a pattern. And you know that I keep it real over here. The only thing is that people don't like when I keep it real. And I have to keep it real. I have to stay true to yours truly. I said to you guys, I feel as though Ye definitely has some amount of money for him, but nothing close to the figure that he was coming up with, right? And I knew that the reason why Ye never paid this guy is because he was asking more for more than what Ye owed him. Ye is not an unreasonable person, because I've been tracking the cases with Ye, and there's one thing I can tell you all about Kanye, right? When Kanye owes you, he may push back at first, but he's gonna say, you know what? I was wrong. I'm gonna pay you. So let's discuss how much I have outstanding for you. But if you try to screw him over, that is what normally pisses him off, even though he was pushing back first. But if you try to rob him, he doesn't like that. That shit sets him off. And you know what? I agree, because who likes a thief, right? And I think that because Ye is always getting swindled, and it's true, people are always swindling money from Ye, and he would normally allow them to get away with it, but he has put it into it, and he has started putting up a fight. And if you remember, the Sunday service choir, they were suing Ye for a ridiculous amount of money, honey. They were suing Ye for something over $300 million. But Ye was willing to pay them. And Ye was saying to them, hey, I know I have some money for you guys, but I know it's not that ridiculous amount, right? And when their attorneys reviewed the details, their attorneys were even telling them that you guys are being unreasonable. This man doesn't even have half that amount for you guys. So let's do the right thing so we can get this to wrap up. And they were like, no, we want to go to court. And at the end of the day, the judge was like, okay, all the details are here. So you guys are going to have to mediate, because you can clearly see that this man does not owe you guys that amount of money. Ye only had a few thousand for them. So at the end of it all, they lost because they had to pay that attorney, right? And the money that Ye had for them, it wasn't even anything that had like not even close to $1 million. And it was quite a few of them, right? But people tend to have this habit, they want money from Ye. Everybody wants Ye money. And as you guys know, and as I've always said, I don't think it is right for someone to work and not be properly or fairly compensated. People should be properly and fairly compensated at all times, right? And this guy, the reason why he never got his money is because he wanted to take Ye on a ride, like Ye is some damn rodeo show. And Ye is a human being. It doesn't matter if he has quite a few more zeros in his bank account than the average citizen. You have to remember that he has feelings too. Ye should not have short-changed this man. You should have paid him, what he's owed. But at the same time, Tony Saxton had no right to be making up a bunch of stories and saying that he wants $1.7 million. That's what he has for him. For he wants punitive damages and he wants this and he wants that. But the law is saying, no, honey, we're going to ensure that you get $140,000 for your medical expenses and lost wages. So $140,000 in comparison to $1.7 million, this is a big win for Kanye. Luckily, Kanye did not succumb to the pressure and his lies. He was going on, it was like that teacher that was working at Donda Academy. He was doing 101 press release and all of that, right? And because Ye's Malibu mansion was worth so much money in everyone's head, they are entitled to Ye's money without working for it. He sued Ye because he said Ye subjected him to unsafe working conditions, wrongful termination, unpaid wages, and all of that. But the court said, okay, we're going to just get you covered for your medical expense and the amount that they could see that was unpaid in wages, and that's it. So this is a huge victory for Ye. $1.7 million? Definitely not. People must be fair, and that includes Kanye. Ye needs to end this habit, and you know what? I'm not defending Ye. I'm not defending Ye, but whenever Ye is not well, these are the things that happens to him. And we see that he's on his medication now. We can definitely see that. Some people want to be messy because some people are just arrogant asses. And that's just the truth. When someone has a medical condition that they didn't brought on themselves, it's an illness, you know, sometimes you have no negotiations in it. Sometimes people go vegan, think that they're doing the right thing for their body, but your body was not meant to go vegan. How could you know that? And you believe that going vegan was the best thing for you. You end up sick, ending up with a disease, and you have to take care of that. So no one, brings illness on themselves intentionally. And it's good to see Ye on a consistent path so far, fingers crossed, knock on wood, taking care of himself. And if he keeps on this consistent streak, we shouldn't see any reoccurrence of this nature because these things happened when he started moving from under Kim's radar, saying that he's not going to take the meds and all of that. Now he's realizing that he should because he doesn't want to. And I understand because, as he said, the medication kind of slows him up and all of that. But once his body gets adjusted, he's going to know how to, do his meds and have the vibrant energy. And he's going to know with diet, exercise, and proper nutrition and good supplements, he's going to be okay. He's going to do pretty well. But I'm happy that justice was served on both sides in this case. Justice was served on Ye's side. Justice was served on Tony Saxton's side. And that's the way it should be. Everyone was given the justice that was due to them. No $1.7 million. Nothing, dude. Take your money and hope you leave this guy alone now. Hope you leave Ye alone and don't go crying and don't come back with another lawsuit. I think the court has been more than fair to you. But anyway, guys, this is just my 2 cents on that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this verdict was fair? Or do you think it was unfair? He was not. Twitter said, let me tell you, Twitter is unmatched. Twitter said Tony Saxton should not get anything because a man demanded a bomb shelter and he did not build a bomb shelter. How should you and how could you demand compensation for something that you did not build? And you know what? It may seem a bit weird, may seems like a bit of a dark humor. It is too, can be looked at that way, but it's true. He never built a bomb shelter. So again, definitely did not deserve that $1.7 million. Where's the man bomb shelter, huh? You never build that bomb shelter for the man. So where's your case? Definitely no case there, according to Twitter. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below and we're going to talk some more. Peace.